What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Swift video, and in today's video we are going to learn how to make this cool screen for your app using SwiftUI completely from scratch. So basically we have this simple and clean design which has an illustration of somebody coding here, which we are going to be doing some of it today. We have some good looking text fields here where the user can enter their details, and a button for login and forgot password, which by the way, this UI looks good in both light and dark mode. In this video, we will not only talk about creating this UI, but also how to arrange elements in SwiftUI, adding images to your app, using some basic UI elements and modifying them to get your desired look. If this sounds good to you, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you'd like to learn more about SwiftUI and iOS development. Without wasting any more time, let's get started. Okay, we are going to get started by creating a new project in Xcode. We need to give our project a name. I'm going to call mine Simple Login. We are going to be using SwiftUI as our interface and also the SwiftUI lifecycle. The language will be Swift, of course, and then click Next to continue. Select where to save the projects. I'm going to save mine on the desktop. And there we have it, our new Xcode project. To our right, we have our preview, and to the left, you have our editor. The preview will enable us to see how the app looks without running the app on the iOS simulator or on the phone. We're going to start by deleting this text field. In SwiftUI, we arrange stuff by stacking them. We are going to add a V-stack so that we can stack our elements vertically as seen on the design. Let's add a V-stack, and inside our V-stack, we are going to put two text fields. One's going to say login, you can put the text as however you want to. I just chose these two texts. Next up, we are going to add some modifiers to alter the look of our text. We do this by using the dot syntax. For example, if I want to make it bold, I can simply just say dot bold. And there we have it, our text is bold. Next up, I'm going to change the font of the text. I'm going to make it larger by choosing a title font. So I'm going to say dot font. I'm going to say title. And there we have it. Our text just become larger. The second one, I'm going to change the font also. I'm just going to make it a smaller title. I think that one should be good. Next up, let's add an image to our app. We can add an image to the app by dragging the image to the assets folder right here. So I have my image here. I'm going to drag it to the assets folder. Keep in mind the name of the image, because this is how we're going to refer to the image on our code. Back to our code. On top of the text login, I'm going to add an image. The name is going to be coding guy. I will put a link to this image in the description below. Upon refreshing our preview, we notice that the image is too big. Let's make it smaller. First, we need to resize it by using the resizable modifier. That's good, but it's a little bit smooshed up. Let's change the aspect ratio to fit our screen. And there we have it. The image looks good now, looks better. It fits our screen. But we can see that the image goes up to the borders. So let's go to our VStack and add some padding to put some space between the screen and the elements. There, that looks much better. While we're on the VStack, we can add some spacing between the elements. I'm gonna use a spacing of 10. I think that looks good. Great. Moving on. So now, based on our design, we have two inputs where the user can enter their email and password. I'm gonna add a text field. The text field needs two things. One, the placeholder. I'm gonna say email, or we can say username, whatever works for you. And then we need to pass a binding. The binding is the variable that handles the data. It does not know what username is, so I am going to create that binding on the top by using @state var username, which is going to be a string. It's going to be empty. Xcode is complaining, but let's try again. Oh, it needs to, yeah, much better. So now, let's reload our preview. We can see our text field appears, but it's a little bit too small. Let's add some padding to it to make it larger. There, that's good. Let's change the background a little bit to make the text field stand out. So I'm going to say background. It's going to be a color. I want gray. I think that one looks better. It stands out just a little bit. I'm going to add a corner radius of maybe 5 to make the corners just a little bit round. I think that looks great. So we need to add another text field for the password. I'm just going to copy and paste that, change that to password. I'm going to create another variable, name password. Put that there. Great. Now we have a password. Let's try running this on a simulator and see how it looks. Yep, looks good. If we tap on the password, you notice that we can see the text. That is incorrect, so let's fix that real quick. Change the text field to secure field. Now let's try again. That's great. Now we are missing some 2 buttons here, so let's add our buttons. We're going to select that action and label. So let's say that label should say login. And then let's add another button, which should say forgot password. Let's check the preview. Great, we have 2 buttons. Now, let's add some modifiers to these buttons so they look great. Inside here, I'm going to put this inside the H stack. I'm going to give this H stack a padding to make it larger, which is good. I'm going to change the background to a color, let's say blue. I think that looks good. Now let's make the hashtag bigger. Before and after the text, we're going to put a spacer to just take some empty space, which is good. And then after, let's change the foreground color of this text to white. Great. Now our UI looks even much better. We can maybe add some corner radius to the button of 5. That looks good. The UI is almost complete. Let's just add some space on the bottom to occupy some empty space, and then the UI now looks good. Let's preview that on our simulator or your phone. And there we have it. We've completed our clean UI. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to learn more about SwiftUI and iOS development. And I'll see you in the next one.